Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I'm excited today. We have Marisol Robles from Ophelia the Musical. Ophelia the Musical is playing here at Fringe Art Space, which is part of OrlandoFringe.org. That's scrolling across the bottom. Ophelia, as you all know, is a very important part in Shakespeare's Hamlet. And the creator here and all of the amazing artists have come together and brought to life Ophelia the Musical. And so I'm excited to have Marisol here. She sings the part of Rosemary, and I'll let her explain it with all the HBIC stuff. But welcome to the show, Marisol. I'm super excited to have you. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. I'm great. This is a lovely opportunity. Like you
Tell
said,
me about you. I'm excited because you've got great energy. Everybody I've spoken to has amazing energy when it comes to the show and how excited they are and passionate they are about it. And so when I saw you pop on the screen, I'm like, oh, good, another smiley, exuberant, excited performer and artist. So tell us a little bit about you, though, before we get into Ophelia. What's your background and kind of how you got here?
ooh, my background. Well, I've always been a storyteller, like to the point of like when I was younger, I never really played with Barbies. I played with plants. I used to be in the corner just talking to plants and whatnot and telling stories. So I'm like, yeah, this is kind of where I'm going down, right? I have a very like wide range of like experience. I was in French choir when I was in middle school. I did the regular choir, and I fell in love with musical theater when we did Grease. So I'm like, yeah, it's like the perfect way to just go into musical theater, right? In high school, I went on to do show choir. That's where I started like learning how to use my voice. And it's funny because that teacher was actually the one that told me I could not sing when I was in elementary. So I'm like,
No way.
tables have turned. But that definitely helped. I learned, I was a mezzo soprano. She always like try to like, also put me in the high notes and whatnot. And afterwards, I just kind of started discovering like my vocal range, especially when Adele came into the scene. I'm like, yes, queen. Yes, we had a lot of Adele in my singing. Um, I did theater when I went to college. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. And if you need me to like slow it down, I'm a very
You
fast
are perfect. I love every energy. It's all about the energy. You're fantastic.
talker. Thank you. So I did theater over there. I have a degree in theater. I have a degree in journalism. I did the journalism thing. Was not my thing.
Wasn't your thing? You can't sing in journalism.
No, I'm like I can't focus on one thing. I have like some kind of like ADHD, and I'm like, no, I need to be like go 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 go.
I love it.
Um, I did the theater association, so we did a lot of plays. I started getting my hands on behind the scene stuff. So like camera work, editing. So I was like, my last semester of college, I'm like, this is my land. This is where I gotta be. Like in front of the camera or in back of the camera, like the entertainment industry was just like, I loved it all. Everything, everything, everything. And once I graduated, I came over here and it's a little sidetracked. I'm a military brat, so I'm like, I just realized a lot of times people ask me, it's like, how do you have like a perfect English? I'm like, well, military brat.
You
And
traveled.
yeah, no, we didn't really travel. I wish we did, but that also just like made me want to like study other languages. So I aside from English and Spanish, I learned Mandarin and French, and I
Wow.
need to go back at it, but yeah. So I'm like all over the place. And over here, I went into casting for commercials. I worked on David Mixman,
I
casting wise.
saw that on your IMDb.
Yeah,
That you did. Sorry, I get confused sometimes.
you're good.
I saw all of I went ahead and read. I usually don't, to be honest, but I went ahead and read it because I was fascinated once Desiree gave me the link. Shout out to her, by the way, and Mallory behind the scenes.
I love it.
But I was fascinated by all of that, and you have a wide range of a background. What I love about your background, and then I'll let you continue, is that you've touched all ends of it. It hasn't, so you understand the process overall. Like you have a very wide range of background,
Yeah.
which I think I'm asking. I guess I'll ask: has that helped with your performing? Are you better at understanding where the director and the producer and the videographer and everybody is coming from because of that?
Yes, that also helps me being mindful. I'm very mindful and having patience as well. A lot of times I go into sets and, I'm always just very compassionate. I'm like, let's teamwork. And, sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh, today I'm an actress. Just stick to the actress. Don't think about continuity. Don't think about but it helps you as a whole. And also just like being able to connect with people and really dig in more into like your character work as well. Um, it's really fascinating.
I love that though, because I think a lot of times, like I've had a lot of actors on here, and they have no experience outside of acting, and so I always got the sense from them that acting was here, and then everybody else was kind of down here. But I think it's because they just didn't have the point of reference that you have. You have a
Yeah.
wider range of reference. So I interrupted. You got here to Central Florida, and then you started doing a lot of, I saw on IMDb.
Mhm. Yeah, I got into casting, and then, I got back into acting as well because through casting, I'm like, "Wait a second, all these people are in front of the camera doing their thing." I'm like, "Wait, hold up, I didn't come here just to, like, do some retail and then go into casting, like, no, this is my way." And so I got my agents, I started with Legacy Talent, and then I went on to 22 Talent, which, they're still my agent right now. And, I have another agent, up in Tennessee, McCrae Talent Agency. I started doing a lot of like commercials and getting into like indie stuff. And it's just fascinating too because I even again started going back into like the production side. I recently just wrote, executive produced, and I was the lead actress in a short film that was supposed to be for like a short film competition, but then like we ran into some audio issues, so we're like, well, we can't submit it, but we're still going to submit it for like other festivals.
Is that
So
what came up when I looked at your IMDb? Is it
it does in
IMDb?
the gown.
Hmm.
Yes, 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 yes. That's influenced also because I work as a standardized patient for Evan Health and for UCF. So it's such fun, and it's also another acting gym. So I train with Chris Green, um, who did videography and photography here for Ophelia. He's awesome. He's very awesome to train.
I feel like everybody involved in the production is awesome. And before we
Yeah.
start talking about Ophelia, I want to ask you, is it different since you've done both acting and singing and musicals? Is there a different approach that you have if you're just straight acting, no music at all, or is it pretty much the same process?
That is a wonderful question. To be honest, when I found out that I was cast in this, I'm like, wait a second, it's been a hot minute since I've done any musical stuff. Like I'm telling you, the last thing I did was show choir, and I was in high school. I don't look like it, but like it's been a hot minute since I've been in high school. Um, wow. I don't. If anything, like the character work, like going back to theater, because I'm also just going back into theater. Like the last thing I did was a Zoom play, and that was great. But being on stage with an actual like cast and crew, like it's a different animal than just doing it virtual. And it's just like, it's like yay, back with this, and having to redo, and perfect it. Um, it's still the same approach. I also have to be mindful because like my mind switched to like TV film. And so it's like those are more subtleties. And then with theater, you're more expressive and big. I'm like, okay, cool, we're back to this. And then with the singing and dancing, I'm like,
It's a lot. Like I would imagine it's a lot. I mean, you have to go from speaking words, then all of a sudden you're
breathing
singing, and
too.
then
It's an
you're coming
exercise.
back. Yeah, it's
When we're
I mean,
doing
I have a
beauty
great
queen,
feel
we're
for it.
like, we're kind of out of breath. And I'm like, yep, we're back to this. So, and then having to act through song, which is a whole other thing too. And it's just like, okay, yeah, that definitely is something to be working on. And it's totally different than if you were just gonna be singing in the shower or like in the car.
Or just yeah, or just performing. Not that that's a just, but all right,
Yeah.
let's talk about Ophelia. Let's talk about Ophelia. Tell me, so Ophelia the musical. Again, for those of you who don't know who Ophelia is, you probably heard of her, but she was a character in Shakespeare's Hamlet, which we all know has that very serious side to it, to be or not to be, all of that good stuff, which we've talked about in past shows about Ophelia the musical. But it's written from her, around her, but you play Rosemary. So talk a little bit about your part and what that means and kind of the setup again for people who are tuning in for the first time to hear about Ophelia.
Okay, so Rosemary is the head bitch in charge. So essentially, she's the mother of all the flowers. She takes it upon herself to make sure that everybody's good and follows her route. Like it's like a mama knows best. Like if you think about like Rapunzel, like the mom, like her song is like mother knows best. Like it's essentially that. And I feel like Rosemary's a little bit complex because she comes across as this fierce leader, and it's like follow what I say because I know best, and boys are trash or whatever because they're just gonna hurt you, and love is shit. But there's some like something had to happen. There was like some hurt from her. Like she learned it the hard way. A couple of the flowers learned the hard way of like, and that's how they turn out to be. But Rosemary, it comes like from a good place, just not in the right way all the time. And she's brutally honest, but then she'll go back and be like, you know what? I told her, and we're just gonna, keep talking about her behind her back and whatnot. So it's like there's levels to it. And I can see how Rosemary can come across as like, damn, I don't want to deal with you either. But yeah, Rosemary is
I'm fascinated by the complexity of that because I love that you pointed that out because I think a lot of times you go in and there's just this one impression, head bitch in charge, for example. But you obviously have recognized or gone into the character a little deeper and realized that there's some sort of vulnerability there. So there's a reason why she is that way, and I think that's the stuff that comes across as a spectator, as a viewer of theater and musicals. I feel like that's where you get the audience gets wow, there's so much deeper, and that's why your performance is so much deeper because you went into it. And we appreciate that very much. Tell me about your singing in it. Did you have to learn a whole bunch of songs? Do you have one song? I mean, I haven't seen it and I've just heard about it, which is really crazy for me because I'm fascinated by it. But talk a little bit about how the production is as far as your character goes.
So in the summertime, we recorded an album, and we worked on. There's two of the main songs that I do where they're with the flowers, and then there's a portion of a song that is with Ophelia and Hamlet, and then there's like the finale. So it was just for the album, so we don't really sing it in the show. And then when we started getting into the rehearsals, like in person for like, yeah, we're going to put it on stage, Maya busts out another song. I'm like, what is this? And it's so Ursula type. And I immediately fell in love. And I'm like, wait a second, this is for me too? And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta learn another song. And here I am, like it's been a hot minute since I've done musical, and like I feel like my memory for songs has not been that great as of like when I got out of like that whole routine of like learning songs. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I immediately fell in love with it. And I went all in, and I'm like, we also have Ashley Peters, she's the musical director, that she would like record the song so we can follow along with it. And like I'm more of like hearing it and then I'll take the notes than if we were able to read the notes. And I'm like, this is great. I just kept at it and at it and at it. And then during that time when I was learning that song, I'm like, I'm going through some shit right now. So I'm like, I'm gonna use this energy to give it to her. And then she started molding.
Love it.
Like using all those different energies whenever I would sing a song, I'm like, it would give it a different tone to it. And I'm like, I never thought about this. And it's just like, it helps it out too with like acting out the song. And I'm like, oh, just learning all the songs, like they're just all magical and they're just sassy and fierce. And that song is Beauty is Pain, the Ursula one. And it's like her climax in there. Like that's really just her giving it all to Ophelia. And it's just like, take my advice. What you're doing right now is not it. And you should be more like me because I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to have you get that thick skin so you don't get hurt.
How do you not? I mean, I don't. If an audience person is as they're watching my show, I don't know how you don't get excited about the performances and about the musical listening to you because there's a passion. I've had actors, I've had people come on and talk about their products, all sorts of things, businesses, their passions, but you can tell when somebody's super passionate about something, and that's definitely you when it comes to Rosemary and Ophelia.
Rosemary is a passionate person.
And she must be, because you are, obviously, and you can feel it, like it's palpable, and I just kudos to you.
Thank you.
for that. You're obviously just pouring your heart and soul into it. So let's hear a little ditty, if you don't mind. Super honored to have you sing a piece, short piece, however long you want to go. I'm going to give you the full stage, and then set it up for us. Tell us what we're hearing and what part of the musical it is. And I'm going to take myself off.
Okay. So I'm gonna sing that one I just explained right now. Beauty is pain. This is like Rosemary giving it to Ophelia, and it's very jazzy feel, like very soulful. So yeah, I just gravitate a lot towards this one. Okay. So you thought that it'd be easy. So you thought it'd be a breeze. You go flex your little petals and it bring us to our knees, please. It'll take a little more, dear. Yeah, I've been around the block. A girl so dewy-eyed as you, dear. It's such an easy one to clock. Flowers need pruning, gardens need weeding. What good is whining you, baby? Beauty is pain, darling. Beauty is pain, darling. Take my advice, there's no use playing nice. Beauty is pain.
Wow. Amazing. Mallory knows the secret. I take myself off because what if you're bad? You are
I'm all
phenomenal.
for the reactions.
The face will give it away. Wow, that was awesome. That was
so
absolutely. I get it. I got the Ursula feeling from that.
Yeah.
And the performance in that. Y'all, if you aren't excited about Ophelia the Musical, I don't know what is going on in your world. You need to get out and see it. You need to see Marisol and all the amazing performers. The story is unique, and we had the creator on, and the part of the team we've had on the last couple of shows, and I'm just so excited for the Orlando audience to get this, for it to be produced, and super excited for them to get introduced if they don't know you, Marisol, and the rest of the players. All right, so tell them the best way that they can find out more about you, all your social handles, Phoenix Tears, all of that good stuff.
Yes, so I'm on Facebook. So it's just as is, Marisol Robles. And then on Instagram, it's at _MARDETOLNASOL. Mar de Tornasol, which if you translate it is the ocean of iridescence or whatnot. I just wanted to be a little fancy with my name.
Love
I don't
it.
know. It just popped into my head. And then go ahead and follow Ophelia the Musical at Ophelia the Musical on Instagram, and also Phoenix Tears. So that'll be at Phoenix Tears PR. And I'm pretty much in all other places too, but go ahead and follow us. We are fantastic. We've put so much hard work in it, and you're missing out on a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely. I'll put all those handles in the post below. You guys should be able to see it as you're watching. Click on all of that. Get out and support our artists. Listen to Marisol just poured her heart and soul out on a StreamYard platform TED show. And can you imagine how much hard work has gone into that, and how much experience and that she's poured into her role, and all of the cast and crew and producers and directors and creators, everybody involved in the show. So get out and support them. You guys are always asking me about wonderful things going on in our area, and this is one of them. So Marisol, thank you so much. It's Ophelia the Musical going on right now. Go to orlandofringe.org to get your tickets and follow everybody. Support our artists, y'all. Thanks, Marisol, so much.